thank you so much for coming back to do this. It's great to speak to you again.
Blessings. Thank you. Thank you.
Today, I wanted to go into meditation. Especially for a lot of people who don't know what it is or don't know really much about it apart from typical Western misperceptions of it. I just wanted to ask you, what is meditation for a practitioner of Vedanta, and what is it to you?
Yeah. So meditation, from a different perspective, is done differently. From the tantric perspective, it's a total, different way of doing it. From the bhakti perspective, it's a different way of doing it, and from the Advaita Vedanta, it's a different perspective of doing it. So I will just share all the three with you then,
Yeah.
right? So from the tantric perspective, meditation is to find the sacred vortex point between the coming and the going of the breath. That's it. Find the space where the coming and the going breath meets. Find coming breath is life, going breath is death. So find the location where life and death meets. That's called meditation. That's the definition of meditation. So becoming aware of the breath and finding the location where neither you are inhaling, neither you exhaling, neither you are in the realm of birth, neither you are in the realm of death. And that happens 2 times in each breath. So 2 times. So breath is mind. Breath is mind. So the way the breath moves affects the mind. Okay. So, and mind is the world. So world is riding on the breath, the road on which the world whirls, the road on which the world rotates is your rotating of the breath. So if you can find where your breath stops, you can find where your mind stops, you can find where the world stops. In the words of Rumi, he says, I will meet you where the road ends. So this is the location. Knowingly, unknowingly, okay, we are already meeting there. We are already meeting there. That very location from the Vedantic perspective is known as the location of Ik Oankar, unity of being. There, you and me and all that is uniting, is meeting. The Sufis call these a Wahadat al-Wajud, also means unity of being. So you and me and all that is in this existence, all that beings, we all meet there. When we are in the breath, we are human beings. But when we are at the location where there is no breath, we are just beings, pure beings. So that is the spirit. And that is from the bhakti perspective. Bhakti says to recognize your spirit, to recognize your soul, to recognize your relationship with the divine. And there your story ends. Your story, what you consider as the I or the ego, is only when the breath is moving. When the breath stops, you enter your spirit, you touch your spirit. And so that's where the soul is actually. There's another perspective to that. Soul is not necessarily inside. Soul is where the breath ends, because the breath is empowered from the yogic, again from the tantric teaching. So I'm just bringing them all together, overlaying them. So where the breath starts, that's where we as human beings receive our beings, receive our beingness. That's where we assess our soul. That is where communication with the soul happens. And that again from the bhakti perspective. So they all merge. Although the directions or the waves are different, but ultimately all go to a location where you and me as individual, you and me as different entities stop being separate. we experience a unity of being. So the tantric teaching says becoming aware of that location where you are neither inhaling, neither exhaling. So conscious breathing. Many people may have heard this mindful, breathing
Yeah.
or mindfulness. But what we are doing is we are going beyond the mindfulness. We are going mind. Mind is the breath, full, the fullness that is there in the stopping of the breath, and then coming back with ness, with amness, with beingness. We are already doing that. We are actually all in meditation. We are pretending not to be in meditation.
Hmm.
That is the fact. We
Hmm.
have just forgotten. We have forgotten. And to remember that, again, coming back to the Bhakti tradition, that is called Simran, which means remembrance, remembrance of who you are. From the Sufi perspective, this is called Zikr, which also means remembrance. You have forgotten who you are. So, what they do is they do chanting over the divine name, and those divine names are not the names of God, they are your names when you have forgotten your individual story. So the names of the divine, when you are chanting that, for example, Vaheguru, or Ram, or Om Namah Shivaya, whatever, these are your names when you have forgotten yourself. Now you keep, put an effort and you're trying to remember your miserable story,
Yeah.
right? So when you have forgotten yourself, so the meditation, another definition of meditation is when you forget your story, you're already in meditation. Okay, so the bhakti perspective is chanting a name of the divine. There's a story, a beautiful story from the Sufi tradition. In the sacred or the Holy Quran, there are 99 names of God, and a Sufi said, "No, God have 100 names." So somebody questioned him, "How can you say that? Because the sacred writing says 99 names of God," and he says 99 names of God, and the 100th name is your name,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So all these from the bhakti perspective, these names of the divine are your name in your divinity. When you have recognized your divinity, you are that. So that is the bhakti perspective. Now, from the Advaita Vedanta perspective, they to know the knower, to know the knower. All these that you're doing, there's something that is knowing. So one is perceiver and one is perceived. One is the seer and one is the seen. Ordinarily, our awareness, when it comes up, when it merges up, and it diverts itself onto something that is called attention. Awareness becomes attention, and attention gives birth to the objective world. A whole narration, a whole story starts to manifest whenever you bring your awareness and you convert it into attention. So attention means a focus. Attention means localization. Awareness means non-local. So ordinarily, our word, our whatever we are, whatever we identify ourselves with, awareness takes the form of attention, and attention reflects onto an object, and the world is born. Okay, so whole narration starts. If you don't see, there's no world. If you don't
Hmm.
hear, there's no world. If you don't smell, there's no world. So when the senses, from through awareness, they empower themselves. The senses don't have any power. They clothe themselves. They clothe themselves with awareness, and then as the awareness diverts itself through the five senses, it becomes attention, and that divides object and subject split. Me and the other split happens because awareness now have been clothed by the five senses, and the world is surely to be born. So now the Advaita Vedanta says, instead of clothing the awareness with attention, you become aware of awareness. Ordinarily, we are always aware of something. We are always aware of something. Why don't you become aware of the one who is aware? So, knowing which, all knowing is known. Without awareness, eyes has no idea what it is seeing. Without awareness, ears have no idea what they are hearing. So, it is the awareness which is working in the back. Consciousness, there's another name, and this is also known as the self. And this is totality, this is your beingness. This is the all pervading unity of being. And this awareness, the sense of knowing, the sense of knowing, you and me experience it the same way, because the knowing in you and the knowing in me is different. Sorry, it's the same. What we know is different in you and different in me, depending on the conditioning of your five senses. So, from the Advaita Vedanta perspective, instead of getting lost into attention, allow awareness to be awareness. So, the sutra is become aware of awareness. Become aware of awareness. We may do this meditation later if we have time, but becoming aware of awareness. That's it. So, ordinarily, now, if you become aware of the wall, okay, my awareness through the senses, diverts and it goes out. It focuses on a specific direction or specific pattern happens. But then if I become aware of awareness, it collapses back. It is called self-abidance. Self-abidance. So just being in your beingness, that is the approach. But ultimately, this is also going to the same location where the bhakti and where the tantra tradition is going. So that is in essence the meditation, although there's much more.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I love this. There's a lot of synchronicities there in certain things that I've been reading, particularly to do with, consciousness and awareness. For my own personal practice, I tend to sort of do something I sort of coined the term of introspective observation. So I'm just trying to observe everything, but stop myself from drifting into almost like a sleep or a daydream, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. So you've given us a really nice detail of meditation there and what it is and what it means to you. So how does one, obviously I know there are multiple ways. How does someone that's new to this, how do they think about meditation, and what how should they think about going to do it?
Okay, because the meditation is your essential nature, right? It's the most closest to you. You have to use what is closest to you to reach that which is the closest to you. Okay, so let's not go into all these complicated things that I've shared with you. The closest thing to you, let's find that. What is that? And that is your breath. So, with the help of the breath, through the path of Tantra, you can assess all the other wisdom will come to you, because this is the most tangible, most relatable part of us, which can help us to touch our essential nature, our essential self, the meditation, the state of meditation. So, a very simple meditation is to inhale and hold. Okay, when you hold breath inside, it is called samadhi. When you hold breath outside, it is called death. That's another definition of meditation. So breath is life. Breath is life. So you're inhaling, you're holding, and you're becoming fully alive. You're feeling your aliveness. Now, as you hold the breath, become aware of the sensations, become aware of whatever is manifesting in you. When you hold your breath, you go into a different dimension. You really go into a different dimension. It brings you high. Once you do it perfectly, once you really dive into it and really get the clicking of it, a clicking must happen. And that happens through Guru Prasad, which means unexplained grace. And this is a part of our existence which cannot be explained. And that is Guru Prasad, the grace of the Guru, the grace of the divine, the grace of totality, the grace of the stars, the grace of all that is, we call the ultimate reality. Unexplained grace. Now, before that happens, there's some effort which will be needed on your side. So inhaling and holding your breath. Simple. Just hold your breath inside as long as you can, and try not to narrate with your story. Try to become aware of the new sensations, the new eruptions, the new blooming, and the new fragrance that is starting to manifest in you. You're changing your reality, because the changing of the breath changes your dimension, changes your perception, changes your sensations, changes your reality. And this is how the yogis in the Himalayas, mastering the breath, they were able to go into altered state of consciousness. They were able to view that which is not viewed with our naked eye. So the amount of prana, and I'm talking not talking about breath, I'm talking about prana or the chi, vital force. The amount of prana you take decides how much you see in existence. Ordinarily, we humans only take a certain amount of prana, so we only see a certain reality of what the totality is. And if you start inhaling more, the sensory space, the sensitive space, the sacred space starts to open. You start to see more than what an ordinary person will see. So this is called visions, just the breath. So holding the breath, that's number one. And to go a bit deeper, first a few weeks, just hold the breath and see what changes. Now, very important, I'm repeating myself. When you hold your breath, try not to narrate with your everyday story. Try to see what is happening in the now, what happens in my stomach, what happens in my back, what happens in my mind, what happens in my awareness. Give awareness to that. A new story is developing. It's like becoming pregnant with the cosmos. So something changes in you. This whole chemistry will change in you just by holding your breath. That's number one. Number two, after a few weeks, as you hold the breath now, or as you inhale, make sure your breath, as you are inhaling, goes beyond the navel center. So deep inhaling, all the way below your navel, 3 fingers below your navel, my friends. 3 fingers below you. So you must be so conscious, and the breath should be slow. And it goes all the way. You can feel the breath. Be with the breath. Be with the breath that will bring you back to your essential self. So go beyond the navel. Navel is the seat of life. And 3 fingers below the navel, from the tantric perspective, it is the seat of death. So the distance between life and death is 3 fingers. These are the three states. Okay, the awakened state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. Jagrata, Swapana, and Shushupti. So these are the three states. And all these can be felt at the physical realm. It's not something that is in the mind or it's a concept. It's alive in you. It's breathing in you. So coming back, so you inhale slowly and you allow the breath to touch the seat of death. There's a space there in your subtle body. There is a knot, and that is known as the prana kuntha, which means the reservoir of preserved, reserved life, which we never use. Assessing that the Kundalini is awakened, the essential force which will divert you back home. It is the universal currency, assessing to that. That is that. That's where it is. And this is from Tantric perspective. Everything is all connected. And we take the shelter of any of this path so that we can return back to our essential self. We can know who we are. So bringing the breath all the way there, this, if you can do it just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Now, in the beginning, the first part of the meditation, which will be about a week or so, it is just holding the breath and becoming aware what it means. It's creating a friendly relationship, because we have lost our connection with the breath in the modern world. We have created our connection with all that is external. We think that what we see in social media, decides our life or quality of our life. No, it is the breath that decides the quality of your life. We have totally disconnected. We know who, where, everything out there, but we have forgotten that which is closest to us. The ancient sages, Saharagaton vi nede vasada dunya firdi vich harani. The essential self is closer than the breath, but the whole world is finding it in the outer world. So my friends, first be creating a friendship with the breath, just holding the breath and becoming aware. Very important. I'm repeating myself again. Don't get involved in your narration. You are giving birth to something new. So totally become aware of that in the body, in the mind, in the field of physical body, in the field of mental body, in the field of energetic body. Something will start changing. Your whole activity, your secretion of the body, the everything in the thing will change. And then after that, bring the breath all the way to your navel and 3 fingers below. touch that point each time you breathe. And as you inhale, you bring the breath there. And when that point is felt, hold the breath there. Hold the breath there. Feel the expansion of that area. Now, this also clears the lower chakras. Ordinarily, we are very much locked in the lower chakras, which is the chakra of survival, the chakra of pleasure, and the chakra of power. So these are the three main avenues which our modern human society is going towards. It's all about survival, it's all about pleasure, and it's all about power. And when these three chakras are transcended, and the awareness of, Kundalini, the ultimate reality hidden in you, veiled in you by you, is touched through the grace of the breath. We call the Pavan Guru. The Guru is the breath. The breath is your Guru. The breath is the wisdom holder. If you know your breath, you know everything. And if you don't know your breath, you know nothing. Okay, so becoming aware, and then as it is held there, as long as you can comfortably, don't force yourself, comfortably just hold the breath in. And as you keep holding the breath, breath is life. And as you hold the breath, you become life. You get full with life. You become alive. Alive means awareness. Alive means beingness. And very beautifully, as you're doing these, your mind will start to anchor. And one of the symptoms of meditation is how do I know I have attained something? The symptom of a meditation is big problems become small problems.
Yeah.
When this starts happening, know that you have touched your essential self. Now, big problems are small problems. That's it. You are a meditator. You are
Yeah.
now sitting in your posture. This is asana. This is asana. When you talk about the yogic teachings, they talk about a posture. Hold your posture. Hold your posture. It is not necessarily holding your outer posture, although that is also beautiful. That's also part. But what it means here is sthiraha sukham asanam in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that which you are at ease, and that which is easy is called the posture. And that's it. You hold your breath and you become aware, you sit in your posture. When you have clicked, when you have activated that point, it comes with time. Again, it's an unexplained grace, but you will surely feel it, because everybody has the birthright, okay, to for the universe to shower its grace upon. There's no high, there's no low, there's no sinner, there are no saints. Every saint have done something sinful, and every sinful person have done something saintly. So there's no qualification. It is your birthright, provided you work on yourself. It's called mashakkat, which means to work on yourself
Mm.
consciously. And that's all you need. And once big problems become small problems, what do we want? That's it. You
Yeah.
are a meditator, you are yogi now.
Yeah. And do you know, I love what you said there initially, what you said about having awareness, when you are meditating and you make sure you feel, your posture and feel your, the pain in your back, make it a new experience. Don't have that narrative of your daily life, narration of your daily life going in your head. That is important. Otherwise it does become just, you're still living in the past, aren't you? You're still going through those old patterns rather than creating a new experience of what you're trying to achieve. So I really like that.
This is how you delete your story.
Yeah.
The less you are, the more the cosmos is. So the more the cosmos is, the more the life and aliveness and awareness it is.
Yeah,
Easier
absolutely.
to let go. Easier to let go. When
Yeah.
you can forget and forgive, that's another symptom of meditation. Know that you are meditative. You can forget and you can forgive. It can be yourself, it can be someone else. If that is happening and that happens, know that now you are a meditator.
Absolutely. And there's something also I wanted to touch on that you said right at the beginning there, and you made a distinction that I think that can sometimes easily be mixed up. You identified that the breath and prana, They are not the same. They are, you take prana and the breath in and exhale it, but they're not the same. And I think that's important to focus on, to sort of understand why they're not the same, and also how you obtain more prana when holding the breath, like you said, and taking on more breath.
So when you are just inhaling, it is breath. It has oxygen and other gases. But when you give awareness to the breath, prana starts coming into you. So prana and awareness are one. Get this. Prana and awareness are one. In fact, awareness is prana and prana is awareness. There's a beautiful sutra. Jahan chitta, taha prana. Wherever your chitta, wherever your awareness goes, prana goes there. And this is also the secret of healing. So when you heal someone, what you're doing, you're using prana. So what are you doing? You're bringing your awareness on a specific part of someone's body. You're bringing your awareness there. And as awareness goes there, prana goes there. It is prana that heals. So when you become aware of your breath, ordinarily we are just unaware. So we are only inhaling a very little amount of prana. Okay, that's why we are not healthy. The more the prana, the more the health, the more the wealth, the more the prosperity, because this is the currency of the cosmos. It is given to you. You have the birthright. You have to use it. You're just unaware. So becoming aware, the moment you bring awareness to your breath, prana automatically, prana is everywhere. Prana is everywhere. And automatically you are attracting the prana. The awareness attracts the prana. And when you bring awareness to the breath, prana automatically is drawn in. And the more you deeper you breathe, the deeper the prana. So how to bring in prana? By bringing in awareness. That's number one. Number two, sitting with the sacred trees. When you sit with the trees, more prana is received. Sitting with the sacred mountains. When you go to the mountainside, the hillside, sit in their presence and then become aware, even more prana is received. Sit in the presence of the flowing sacred rivers. And when I say sacred, it doesn't mean specific. I'm referring to every river is sacred, every tree is sacred, every mountain is sacred. Because you are touching your sacredness, which is your breath. And when you know your sacredness, everything becomes a sacred. So sitting with the mountains, sitting with the trees, sitting with the oceans. Ocean is another source of prana. It's vibrating all the time because life came from there. It contains the most amount of prana. So sitting with these, sacred beings and becoming aware of your breath automatically expands the amount of prana that you take in. So I hope that answered the question. What was the next question?
Yeah, I mean, just going from, we said about prana in terms of, we made the distinction between that and the breath, and that's great. And also I wanted to sort of tap on, I think you've already answered part of this in terms of, how meditation can benefit us spiritually, and, in terms of how we perceive things, and you can change your reality. But also, how does meditation and prana and breath, how does it change, help benefit us physically? How does it change us physically? And are there benefits in that sense?
Yeah, physically, you'll be healthy. Your body, will less likely to fall sick, or all these issues, the flu and that and this. It will just keep you healthy physically, mentally, psychologically. Now, much of these meditations, so the medicine starts working through the physical dimension, and then it goes into the other dimensions. So that is the mainstream meditation, mainstream medicine. It can be the Western or Eastern or Chinese or whatever. But this meditation that we are talking about, it works from the other side. So it first affects you at the level of energy. Your energy body starts to repair itself first. In fact, there was research done. They said that whenever a person became sick or ill, about 6 months before, the illness or the sickness reflects itself in your auric field. So your aura first gets affected, and that's your shield. So this meditation, this perspective that I'm sharing with you, it comes via the aura, the energetic body. It heals the energetic. First, it creates a shield around you so that nothing new can filter into you and make you sick. So first, the clearance of the aura, clearance of the auric field, then your psychological problems, because much of whatever you're feeling at the physical level is due to your mind, is due to your psychological
Yeah.
issues, holding your patterns, your memory. The reason why you are feeling a certain way at the physical realm actually is not the physical realm to be blamed. We very well look after our physical realm, we very well look after that. What we don't know how to look after is our mental body,
Yeah.
psychological self of ours. So we hold a lot of memory. The more the memory, the more the effect on the physical body is experienced. So we are really going to the source first and clearing that, and that helps to open up the auric field, cleanse the auric field, create a shield. Whatever happened have happened. Nothing new should filter you. You know, and then comes the psychological release. Memory starts to be released. That's the next thing that will happen. And I'm going to mention again, big problems become small problems. Okay. And you begin to forget, the big problems, like they don't have any value anymore. And then when that happens, psychologically you are free, mentally you are free. There's a lightness.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it enlightenment. In light,
Yeah.
the light is inside you. Enlightenment, you feel the lightness and then you experience the light. Okay. So then psychologically the weight of your mind reduces, and when that reduces, automatically the body starts to heal itself, because now nothing new is coming in, nothing new is coming into it. So all that is really protected, and the body has the wisdom to heal itself. The body has the wisdom to heal itself, and that's what we are doing.
Yeah, and I think you touched on something important there. Again, I mean, it's all important, but there's something you said there about problems becoming smaller, and something I wanted to maybe expand a little bit on, maybe for people that are listening, in terms of blockages. How do you suggest for people that whether they're suffering with these things that prevent them from hitting higher states of meditation?
Yes. So when in time and space, right? In time and space is flowing like that. And then a certain moment happens, a certain situation happens, and you get freeze in that location. So time and space are intersecting just like that. Each time you're blinking, time and space. Left eye represents time, right eye represents space. So you are the birth giver of time and space. I can go deeper into this, but let's not go into that. We come back to your question.
Yeah.
So, and your breath again, left, right, your foot, left, right, your hand, left, right, your mind, left and the right hemisphere. All these are intersecting. And these intersections are happening all the time, everywhere. And when a certain situation happens that is powerful, that is impactful, you get locked in that time and space. So time and space keep moving, but your psychological self, your mind gets locked in that space. So you keep going, the time keep going, space keep going, time, but you are stuck there. Now, from the tantric perspective, what happens is that it creates a knot. Karma is defined as the knotting of time and space. So the more knots in your body, the more you are locked into the deep, the deeper layers of existence or deeper layers of karma. So the more the knots, and these knots are first felt in the energetic body, and then they are felt in the mental body, and then if you don't remove them, okay, one is called this is called the bio memory, okay, And then if you don't remove them, then they become muscle memory. And when they become a muscle memory, you're totally stuck in it.
Yeah.
So what we do is we clear all these three, and all these three can be cleared with the help of the breath, with the help of the body, and with the help of the mind. Now, how to do that? We will again take the shelter of the breath, of the mind, and of awareness, or consciousness. Same process. Inhaling all the way to your navel, holding it there for a few seconds, and then becoming aware of those locations in the body where you intuitively feel that you have a knot. Now, as you hold the breath in the initial stages, you will see a certain part of your body is tense, a certain part of your body is relaxed. There's a knot. You feel it. Tangibly, you will be feeling, oh, this part of the body, there's a knot, there's something tight.
Yeah.
All these are knots that are being reflected in the physical body, which are existing in your mental and your psychological, in your energetic body. So holding the breath and becoming aware, which we started off with meditation, right? You have to hold and become aware. Now, how to clear that? Now, as you're holding the breath and you feel that lock or that tightness or the knot in in the specific space of the physical body, you with your mind go there. Just go there and use pressure, use attention, use focus, and become aware, and just make that space even more tighter, tighter, tight. And then as you exhale, you visualize, imagine that that space is also relaxing, and you let it go. Again, you inhale, hold, bring your awareness there. When your awareness goes there, prana goes there. Where prana goes, health goes, well-being goes, because prana is a health, prana is life. So where prana goes, life goes. If life is not moving there, if life is not moving there, it's not vibrating, something has been locked, then only prana and only your awareness can open it. That is the fastest and the easiest way. So becoming aware of that location, holding the breath, bringing your awareness there, bringing your focus there, and making it consciously even more tight, very tight. And the same thing can happen for anger, your emotions. For example, if you are angry, if anger is an emotion that you need to work on, anger is a very powerful energy that the divine has gifted you with, just that you don't know how to divert that. So what do you do whenever you are angry? You inhale, hold, and you bring your anger there, the location where you need healing. Bring your anger there. Any emotion that you are experiencing is the divine gift which you don't know how to channel. And only your breath, only the wisdom of the breath and the wisdom of awareness can give you the signs of changing your negative emotion into positive emotion. So whatever emotions that you need to work on, or you think you are suffering, no, you're not suffering. These emotions were a gift to you which you don't know how to use and heal yourself. So my friends, all you need to do is inhaling, holding, bringing your awareness, bringing your focus, bringing your attention, bringing your prana to that specific location. And if you have anger, bring that anger there. Bring all the energy of the anger to that specific location. And as you exhale, visualize it just opening up or blooming like a lotus flower. And keep doing this. And the knot, that block, within a few days, it will disappear. First, it will become less and less. And then suddenly you will just forget. And after a week or so, you will remember, oh, I used to have an issue there, it's gone. That is the power of your breath and power of your awareness. These signs have been working. This is such a simple science. There's nothing external which you need. All that you need is internal, just the wisdom. When you have the wisdom, when you have the jnana, when the guru is awakened in you, when the wisdom is awakened in you, you can just use what you have to heal yourself.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I mean, through that's sort of already changed a few perceptions that I've discussed with people. You know, some people would try and resolve their problems in their head and forgive someone in their head, and then it would be gone, and it would never work. And you know, but what you've described there is,
Yeah, so we are not indulging in whatever have happened. We are not
absolutely, yeah,
going back. We are not going back into time and space. That's another approach. Maybe some people it works, but
yeah,
this really, it's powerful. It's simple, and it works. At least, my friends, at least when you're doing this now, when you're doing this for a few seconds, it's a fact. Try it. You forget your story for a few seconds. And if you have the capacity to forget your story for a few seconds, it means it is working. And if you can forget a few seconds, you can forget for certain minutes, and then for certain hours, and then for certain days, and then for certain months, and then for certain lifetimes, you will forget it and you will just.
So the world, you know, when we think of the world as Maya, you know, how does someone that doesn't wants to not be of the material, you know, of Maya, how someone that wants to step away from that, how do they go about that?
So they want to stay in the Maya, or they want to step away from the Maya?
They want to leave it, to meditate and completely do away with it.
Do away with it.
Yeah. Is that a practice? Is that something some people do, or is that something that's not possible? Or
So this is, so there is a state of doing. Okay, so we can do all these. We can contemplate. We can sit. We can have satsang. We can talk about the non-dual. All these things. More or less, you are still a doer.
yeah,
So only the doer is blooming more and more and more. Now, someone who wants to totally transcend the Maya, along with these teachings of non-dual, the most important ingredient is okay, because I the grace of the Guru, I bring in everything. It's not just this or this or this, everything,
yeah,
over. It's a layer. You have to take the shelter of anything. So for that clicking to happen, so that this does not just stay as an intellectual understanding, the concept of unexplained grace comes into. Without the grace, without the grace of the cosmos, okay, no one have transcended the Maya. That's my understanding. Mm. And how to open yourself towards the unexplained grace. It's called gratitude, reverence, okay, devotion towards the totality. The Sufis, they say, wherever I bow my head, that becomes the door of God. Until that does not happen, Maya will remain. So opening yourself to the unexplained grace, surrender, uh, tears of joy, tears of longing, and that's another symptom of someone who wants to, uh, assess that state beyond Maya. Tears must flow, tears of devotion, tears of longing, tears of joy. So when the tears flow, something must flow in you for that flow to happen. So the flow of the grace will not come if something doesn't flow out of your ears, of your eyes, because eyes is the world. 90% of the world that you hold comes through the eyes. 90% of your prana is received and given through the eyes. So this is the main doorway. The main doorway have to be cleansed. Okay, so again, I'm bringing in the tantric perspective again,
yeah,
along with Advaita. So now that surrender, that devotion towards totality, um, bowing towards the sacred trees, bowing towards the mountains, bowing towards the oceans. I share a small story with you. I read it a long time ago. It's true or not, I don't know, but it's a beautiful story. The story is many, many, many years ago. There was a German man who went to Tibet to learn the wisdom of the self, the wisdom of the essential self. So he went, and he was one of the few, people from the West. So many things were very new for him, and he was initiated into the Tibetan teachings, into the Tantriana teachings, and the deeper esoteric teachings of Buddhism. So one of the things that you have to do after you have been initiated is that each time you see your teacher, okay, the one who planted the seed in you, okay, initiation he plants a seed in you. The moment you see him, you have to bow. So that was very difficult for him. He couldn't bow. And so he will take every opportunity to hide when the teacher comes. So if he knew the teacher is going to come this way, he will do the other way, so he don't have to bow. But he was here for the esoteric teachings. And for the esoteric teachings, the head must bow and the heart must become higher. You get that? Whenever you bow, the head becomes lower and the heart becomes higher. Okay, when the heart becomes a higher, something opens up. Now your head is higher. So the cosmos, the divine grace, when it goes into your head, doubts come. Grace is flowing now also, but it is because the avenue is the head, it's higher. When it enters you, there's always a doubt. Always a doubt.
Yeah.
And when the head is lower and the heart is higher, now the divine grace falls exactly onto the highest location in your physical body. Now it becomes the highest location. And then grace is experienced as grace. So he didn't want to bow. Now, because he was staying in such an environment, it's called the Sangha. The Sangha. Something changes in you. The type of people you sit with, the type of people you communicate with, the type of people you share your breath with creates a change in you. And that's why the whole system of ashram and sangha is mentioned. You have to sit with. Somebody asked a Sufi master, how do I love? And the master said, be with lovers. That's it. Go sit with lovers, you will know what love is. So when you sit with these people, automatically something changes in you. So this guy, after a few months, when everybody was bowing, something changed him. Some chemicals, started to erupt in him, and he decided to bow one day. And he has never bowed. And for the first time in his life, he bowed. And when he bowed, something shifted in him. He liked it. And he liked it so much that he now will take every opportunity to bow to the master. He will wait for the master to come. Now he even went deeper. He was not satisfied just with bowing to the master. He will even bow to the elder monks.
Yeah.
And that was not enough. Then he decided to bow to even those younger monks. And that was not enough. Now he decided to bow to the trees, bow to the mountains, bow to the birds flying in the skies. Have you wondered that? Bowing to the birds flying in the skies, bowing to the clouds, the naked clouds. He started to bow. And then one day, the story says, he bowed for no reason. And that day he was awakened.
Yeah. That's a lovely story. Yeah.
So bowing, devotion, surrender, these are the things will really uplift you, will help you to transcend Maya. That's what I can suggest.
Yeah. No, I really enjoy that story, and I'd never thought of bowing like that before, in terms of the heart being above the head. And it's so true, isn't it? When you take information in the head, it ponders on it and sort of ruminates on it and turns it into other things. And like you say, the heart, it just takes it in its purest form.
Beautiful. Yeah, grace is always flowing. It can only flow into the highest point in your body. And if you make it your head, then it becomes a doubt. If you allow it to come through the heart, then it becomes a grace. Experiencing grace as grace, not experiencing grace as doubt.
Yeah. And something we touched on last time, we talked about a little bit about Kundalini and its movement through the chakras, and the idea of bringing complete awareness to all of those. In terms of meditation, again, Why is it important for bringing consciousness to each of the chakras for awakening? Why is it important to have the awareness there?
Actually, it's not important. It's some people don't need to do it. Some people need to do it, and the reason for that is the more you are locked in the different realms. So we humans, we experience life in these different chakras, so different dimensions. Okay, there are 8 dimensions. Some people talk about more dimensions than that. Some people only focus on 6. Some traditions only focus on 3. So these are the navel, the heart, and the third eye. These are the 3 main dimensions through which you can experience reality. Either you experience through navel, okay, which is associated with the 3 lower chakras as well, and then either you associate it with the heart. Everything is seen from the heart, or either from the third eye, which is the seat of intuition. So ordinarily, there are people who are stuck even in other dimensions, and not just the navel but the lower 3 chakras as well.
Yeah.
And not everybody need to go through the chakras. Only if someone who is really stuck in his world, really deep, stuck in his own imagination and own limitations. The more you are in the head, the more you need to go through and clear his chakra. But ordinarily, I know it's a trend. Everybody wants to clear the chakras, which is not necessarily needed.
No.
In fact, when you do the breath coming and going, the breath, the moment you start holding your breath, as long as you can, automatically the chakras are activated by itself anyways. So it's not a must. If you want
Yeah.
to try it, it's just helpful. But if you
Yeah.
don't have any wisdom of the chakras, it doesn't mean that the awakening will not happen or Kundalini will not awaken. She will awaken with awareness. So I think the other reason for that is just to anchor the awareness. So ordinarily, our awareness, we don't know how to, become aware of awareness. So what we are doing is we are bringing our awareness to the first chakra, okay, and then
Yeah.
we're bringing our awareness. So it's more like creating a relationship, building a relationship with awareness rather than trying to clear the chakra.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's
Absolutely.
awareness that is going to help you. It is the awakening of the awareness is called the awakening of the Kundalini. When you can really become aware of your awareness, okay, that is the awakening of Kundalini. That means you have now got access to that which directs your life, that which controls your life. This is what it meant by controlling the mind. You control the world, because mind itself is controlled by awareness. Everything in you, internal and external, is there because of awareness. So it's more like about building a relationship with the awareness. And the chakras are those specific points, different dimensions where we dwell in. Sometimes we're in the lower chakras, the second chakra, sometimes we're in the heart chakra, sometimes in the Vishuddha chakra. So these are the different doors through which we create a relationship with the world. So to clear that, some traditions have suggested. And if you know how to do that, it's beautiful. But if you don't know, then you can learn. But if you think that's not for you, just learn to hold the breath. The holding of the breath and the awareness combined together automatically awakens the chakras.
I think that's great, and I think it's really important that you've specifically said that it doesn't, you don't have to be a full on student of these things. You can, just be going as simply as you can and focusing on the breath and the holding of the breath. You can still achieve these things, and I think that's really important for especially people living in the Western world who won't always necessarily have time, or don't fully understand, or don't want to understand. And it's nice that something as simple as that can help to begin that journey and begin that change. So I really like that you've pointed that out.
Any shift, all you need is the breath and awareness. Everything else, if you like it, you can indulge into it. If you don't like it, it's totally fine. If you know the wisdom of the breath and the wisdom of awareness, that's all. So to awaken your perception, to awaken up your beingness, to connect with the reality in the here and now, what we will be doing is, okay, we will be inhaling, and as we hold the breath, okay, and I want you to pump your navel 4 times, just holding the breath, Pump your navel 4 times, and then you exhale. Okay, eyes will be closed. Let's close the eyes. It will be about 3 or 5 minutes. So everyone close the eyes and let's experience. Okay, spine straight, and just relax the body. Mouth is closed, and the tongue touches the palate. Tongue touches the palate. So it's totally locked. So tongue is the word, palate is the unknown. So tongue is the known and the palate is the unknown. So uniting the known and the unknown together. Okay, locking the mind, it's called. Beautiful. Now eyes are closed. I want you to inhale through your nose and just hold the breath and hold the breath. While holding the breath, I want you to pump your navel 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then exhale the breath. Beautiful. One more time, I want you to inhale and hold the breath. And again, pump the navel 4 times. So breath is held. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And you hold your breath. Now I want you to pump your navel 8 times. I will count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And hold and pump your navel 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. And one more time, inhale. And hold your breath and pump your navel 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And hold and pump your navel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. Just a few more times. Inhale. And hold the breath and really pump the navel hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. 2 more times you're going to do. Inhale forcefully. And hold and pump your navel really hard, holding the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. And for the last time, inhale. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold the breath. Hold the breath. Don't exhale now. Hold, hold. And now as you hold the breath, my friends, I want you to tense your skull. Tense your skull and tense your forehead. And tense your eyes, tense your face, tense your ears, tense your neck, tense your shoulders, tense your chest, tense your navel, tense your sit bones, tense your feet, tense your legs. And through the nose, exhale. Beautiful. One more time, inhale forcefully and hold. And as you hold this breath now, my friends, I want you to tense your head, your forehead, your 2 eyes, your face, your cheeks, your teeth, your tongue, your throat, your shoulders, your back, your spine, your chest, your arms, your hands, your feet, your navel, your sit bones, and your legs and your soles of your feet. And hold and squeeze and through the nose, exhale. Beautiful. A few more times. Inhale and hold, and please tense all these specific locations. Keep tensing, keep tensing. Now what we are doing is we are clearing you of the unwanted memories and knots. So these are the specific locations where a lot of knots are held. Of course there are specific knots, but we are just working collectively. Please tense all these locations that I've told you, all the way from the head, which is the soul, all the way to your soles, the 2 soles of your feet. Soul to soul connection, it is called. And my friends, through the nose, exhale. Beautiful. Going 2 more times. Inhale deep and hold. And now please tense the skull where the soul sits. And tense your skull, your forehead, your eyes, your eyebrows as well. A lot of stuff is held in the eyebrows. This is such a deep science, my friends. Hold, hold, tense, tense, and your face, your teeth, your jaws, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your stomach, your back, your spine, your sit bones, your knees, your legs, and your soles, and your feet. And exhale. And my friends, last time we're going to inhale and hold and hold and hold and hold. And again, squeeze and tense all that is. And squeeze, my friends, from soul, which sits on the seat of your head, the 10th gate, it is called, all the way to your souls. So allow the souls to the soul to soul connection. Every part of your body is tense, and squeeze yourself and tense, and all these specific locations. And my friends, through the nose, exhale. And very slowly open your eyes. So this is the tantric meditation. We are using awareness, and we are using the tantra as well. So this, you can do it as long as you want. So first you're inhaling, you're holding, you're pumping your navel. That's all. Start with 4, then increase to 8, then go to 16. And like that, keep increasing how much ever you can comfortably. Then once you end, you inhale and you hold and you squeeze this specific part of the body. You can do these 8 rounds, so 16 rounds, so 21 rounds. This is all you need. This is about 10 minutes meditation. So we are involving the awareness as well as the breath, as well as the physical body. So tantra, which is the breath, the body, and then you have again, which is also the breath, and then also the awareness, which is the advaita, how to bring your awareness and become aware of your awareness. So we are putting, this is the most basic thing. So maybe in the next few sessions, as we do, we will dive deeper and deeper, and ultimately we will go into the pure advaita meditations, which is just concerned with the awareness. But I think this is needed before you can really tap into what awareness is. You need to know what attention is. You need to know what what relaxation and what tension is,
Yeah.
right? So this gives you an experience of tension as well as relaxation. So this is our everyday, day to day, reality. We have tension, we have relaxation. So really becoming aware of both sides, and then with this, with time, we can become aware of that which is aware of both the tension and the relaxation. Knowing of awareness is knowing of the self, and that knowing of awareness is called self-realization. It's called self-realization. It's also called soul realization. And this is what awakening is in very simple, plain language.
Great. Yeah. No, I could really feel that. It was, could definitely feel I had a lot of tension, especially in my back. And yeah, so I could feel that. And so I guess that meditation there it sort of brings attention to those knots you were talking about. And, by bringing awareness to it, you can dissolve, any, not
This
just
is in
tension.
general. This is in general. These are specific locations, in advanced meditation, or when you really need to clear yourself at a specific part, then you just go to that location. It can be any part of the body.
Yeah.
But when you focus on these specific points that I've told you, this more or less will help you to clear. Even if you cannot, localize your tension and your knots, this is all you need to, become aware of and focus and tense them and then relax them. Automatically, the effect will be felt all over the body.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much for that one. Yeah, I'll definitely go away and practice that, and hopefully the people watching this, listening to this, can practice it for themselves.
Do these for 7 days and see a difference.
Yeah.
And if it helps you, keep doing. If it doesn't help you, feel free to drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
the experience you have to, and I'm not giving you something new. I'm not giving any belief system. I'm just giving you what you already have. And this is what Dharma is. And this is what really will bring you to yourself, not a new ideology, a new concept, a new thing. I'm not giving you that, if you can see.
Mm.
We are just using what we already have. We are born with what we really need. We don't need to bring in anything external. So just connect with yourself, know who you are,